now going through your journey as a cancer patient, do you do you think differently about how you maybe in the future, how like what projects make sense, because now you see like the like you had mentioned this idea of capabilities in Canada, like we have these capabilities in Canada, but you still have to send it out to the US, which is, that's a different, that's maybe we don't go down that road, but I think you get my sense is like there's obviously still gaps in Canada that should be relatively straightforward to solve. So does it change your mindset on how Genome Canada functions, at least for maybe the cancer research component or more around the cancer component?
Oh, completely, Lester, completely. And not just for cancer, for everything, because your experience as a patient, I can totally relate now to rare disease patients. Families and kids with rare diseases that are navigating what we call the diagnostic odyssey, and going from one specialist to another one, and one to another one to another one, until they get finally the whole genome sequence, and they figure out what is the mutation. They get a diagnosis finally, and in some cases they might not even get the option of a treatment because it's a rare disease that might not have a treatment. But just having a diagnosis makes a whole difference. Now, the lesson for me and a CSO at Genome Canada is really that we have still a way to go to really, have this full implementation of genomics in the clinic. And as I say, and as you mentioned there, we have the capacity here, we have the knowledge, we have the scientific expertise, but we still have, in a way, this disconnect with the clinic. I think it's better and it's getting better. And I think breast cancer is one of these areas where is most advanced because there are so many options of your, pro- profiling your tumor, getting your, now you're also circulating tumor DNA might be an option. I got my microbiome. I forgot to mention that I got a study on my microbiome. So I've been in different studies and I'm seeing, the power of that. Um, I also will say that in my role, not just at Genome Canada, but also with the Genome Centers, I remember in my presentations, always I have my personalized my personalized medicine and genomics slide deck, and always that will finish with slide that has a patient at the center and everything around. And I say, of course, we have to have patients at the center. That was always what I was presenting. Now, yes, but it's like a whole, I feel it's the same concept, but I just feel it completely differently. Like, we were saying we have, as we call, research oversight committees for the large scale projects we found at Genome Canada. And we always say, it would be nice to have a patient there. And now it's like, no, it's not nice to have a patient. It's like we have to have a patient. It's a must. It's not a nice thing to have. It's a must. And I'm lucky enough to be in a position with Genome Canada to somewhat try to help and influence some of those decisions. So I'm really, because as you say, Susan, you were diagnosed 26 years ago. You're a cancer patient today, and you still, think, live. You're a cancer survivor, and you think and live your life through that lens. So I think that's a
Hmm.
new lens that I got, cancer
Hmm.
survivor, that I'm planning to fully use as a voice for patients and as a voice for genomics in Canada. So it's not going to be the same, Lester. It's not going to be the same.
That's excellent to hear, and I'm sure many of our listeners, and also actually many of our former guests, actually there were patient advocates. We had Barry Stein on, who leads Colorectal Cancer Canada, who himself was a cancer patient that had to he had to go to court against the Quebec government. So I think having more patient advocates is absolute must.